This episode may contain some sensitive topics that some listeners may find challenging. If you are affected by anything that is spoken about, please speak to a trusted adult.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Wellbeing Club, a podcast made by young people for young people, helping give them a voice, be confident in expressing themselves and breaking down barriers. My name is Ali.
My name is Hazel. On this episode, we are going to be discussing physical activity and its relationship to mental health, how we can remove barriers to being more active and creating safe spaces where all feel welcome to enjoy fitness.
We are pleased to announce that today we have Toby Cooley, co-founder and head coach of CrossFit Ironduke, with us today. Toby, please can you tell us more about yourself and share with us why you decided to join us on the Wellbeing Club today?
Thank you for having me. So obviously I'm very passionate about sport and fitness and how that has a good relationship between mental health and how we can improve mental health through doing fitness and sport. I've been co-owner of CrossFit Ironduke for 11 years. And in that time, we've been able to help loads and loads of different people from all walks of life with their fitness levels and their, mental health challenges as well. So we've been able to have a good relationship with taking the sport and the fitness, or what we do in the gym, to help improve people's lives.
Maybe. So why did you want to start Ironduke?
First of all, it was kind of happened. It wasn't something that I went out to intend to do. I used to play semi-professional ice hockey, and I did that for a long, long time. And once I had finished that, I was kind of a little bit lost for kind of fitness and I guess struggling with my mental health a little bit, to be honest with you. I had about 18 months where I didn't do anything sport related. I literally worked another job 10, 12 hours a day. I did a lot of night work where I was on my own. And then a friend of mine who I used to play ice hockey with, he was like, you should go and try this CrossFit thing out. And I was like, okay. And then from there, it kind of allowed me to kind of be part of a team experience. So if you've ever been part of a team experience, you've always got kind of people that you can train with. You've always got people there supporting you and things like that. And for about 18 months or so, I never had that. So I guess I was a little bit lost in that respect. So I went along and tried CrossFit and kind of fell in love with it straight away. It gave me that kind of team feel of being able to kind of rely on people next to you, train with people next to you and stuff like that, which is something that I'd missed for a long, long time. And then we fast forward a couple of years, and then there was an opportunity for myself and a few others to kind of get together and open our own space and our own gym. And that was back in 2014. And then from there, we've kind of gone strength to strength, year on year, really.
Thank you. That was really interesting. We'll now have a Q&A time with Toby. These questions were created using data from the Be Well survey for young people. So, what do you think are some of the mental health benefits for young people engaging in regular physical activity?
I think if you feel good about yourself, essentially, by training, whether that's, it doesn't have to be in a gym as well. I think that could be outside playing sport. It could be on the beach. It could be going for a walk. I think the value for genuinely feeling good about yourself and allowing you to get some sort of physical activity. It could be anything, like I said. It could be walking your dog or a pet or something like that. But getting outside and kind of moving your body, if you feel better that way, I think that has a huge carryover to mentally how you're feeling. And I think that kind of the more you do, the more that you're able to do, first of all. And then it allows you to, like I said, just kind of build a little bit better for yourself each time that you do a little bit more physical activity. It kind of puts like pennies in the bank for your mental health as well. And many members that we've had in the past have kind of expressed that, you know, if they feel physically better, the carryover that has to mentally is huge. And that's not just for like adults. Like I said, we work with multiple amounts of people and children. And I think that the more opportunities children or young adults get to kind of get outside or get into a gym and things like that will have a huge benefit. I think what CrossFit has done over the last 20 years or so has allowed young women in particular to have an opportunity to take up sports that they might not have done normally in school. I think, I don't know what it's like now, but definitely when I was at school, there was kind of limited amounts of opportunities to do kind of fitness. And the CrossFit space globally has allowed young women to kind of express their kind of body image and allow them to lift heavy weights, and it's more accepted, if that makes sense.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
To lift heavy weights, and it's more accepted, if that makes sense. I think if you go back even 10, 15 years ago, these lifting weights for women and things like that just wasn't really a thing. And I definitely feel now that CrossFit has definitely changed that over the years. And out of that, other things have come. For instance, you've had high rocks. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, or like weightlifting competitions where you can like learn how to lift and those sorts of things. And by able to like feel good about yourself, be able to lift weights or run further or jump higher or be able to take part in any kind of sport, just mentally that makes you feel better. I'm a big believer of that. I think even when things are hard, if you can still keep up some sort of physical activity, and like I said, that doesn't have to be running, or it could just be getting outside and walking. That just allows you to kind of clear your head, clear your mind a little bit, and allow you to kind of have some time for yourself. And I definitely think that has a huge carryover physically to mentally as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And during COVID, we were allowed outside for an hour of physical activity a day, which shows that even during a pandemic, that was prioritized. Did you see an increase in attendance after the lockdown was over?
Yeah, we did actually. Just to touch on what you've just said there is that you were allowed out for an hour a day. So for most of us, that would either be running, walking, or potentially biking if you had a bike. So it just kind of goes to show also that you don't necessarily need huge amounts of equipment to kind of stay in shape or kind of feel good about yourself to get outside and do some sort of exercise. As for the other question about did we have a take-up? Yeah, absolutely. I think what the pandemic showed us is that the stronger you are physically had a huge carryover to how you dealt with COVID and how like looking after yourself, and that's kind of through nutrition, your mental health as well. Like we've already touched on, is that by being physically fit has a huge carryover to being mentally fit as well. And I think people did definitely take their health and fitness a lot more seriously. And it gave people an opportunity to kind of rethink and maybe revalue their own lives at the time and kind of prioritize what they feel or felt was important to them. And a lot of people definitely came out of that, and being physically fit was one of those things. I'm definitely very, very sure of that. So kind of touching back on what we've just talked about, what did you guys do for activities when you were allowed out for your hour a day?
I mean, I did a lot of Joe Wicks workouts. Like every day, I was just
He was really good at that.
On the workout with Joe Wicks. Yeah, I think that was like my main sort of activity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did a lot of walking around. I'm quite lucky that where I live is right next to a woods, and then we've got quite a big couple of fields. So I managed to get out and walk around there a lot with my dogs as well. So it was really good. I used to go out for walks by myself. So it was really nice.
So, and did you both feel better after doing some sort of activity or getting outside?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was a lot quieter as well. So it was like, instead of where usually before COVID, me and my friends would play out on our street, it would just be me. So it was quite quiet and nice to go out and look at the nature just on a nice walk.
Yeah, absolutely. We also did a lot of home workouts for people as well, because obviously we use Zoom and things like that, where we would set workouts or challenges for people to try and get them to kind of do some sort of fitness. And I remember we did one of the classes that had like 45 people on it, one random morning at 10 o'clock, so which was awesome. And again, it was just allowing us as a gym to connect with our members, and again, just how important it is to make sure that you're moving your body and doing some sort of activity. So, but definitely walking, and Joe Wicks definitely did very well out of that.
So another question for you. In Hampshire, Isle of Wight, Portsmouth and Southampton area, Be Well reported nearly half of boys reached the CMO physical activity guidelines, whereas only 30% of girls were reaching it. What do you think can be done to encourage young females to engage in more physical activity?
That's a great question. Okay, so here's my question to you. What do you guys do currently for fitness? And what are your friends doing at the minute?
Well, I swim a lot. I've done quite a few long distance challenges, and I'm starting cricket in September.
Nice.
I also go for long walks and runs as well.
And you have a lot of friends that do that with you and stuff?
I don't do it with friends, but all my friends do their own physical activity.
Me and my friends used to get involved a lot when we were in school with the house events we used to have. So we'd have a different house event each term. And then I used to do basketball for a couple of years. And I enjoy my dance, so that's a lot of the things I do for fitness. I do dance lessons 3 times a week, so that's probably my main source.
Do you feel that there are more opportunities for boys in school?
Yeah, quite a lot of the time, because with the
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
Quite a lot of the time, because with the boys, there's more competitive teams, so they can do the competitive rugby, competitive football, and all that. But the girls usually can't play rugby because we have to play non-contact sports.
Yeah, I would agree. I think technically we are given the same opportunities, but I feel like the boys' teams are more promoted a bit more, they're talked about a bit more than the girls. So.
Yeah, I guess it would be very similar to how it was when I was at school as well, many years ago now. But it definitely felt, I guess, the boys had more of an opportunity. I guess also thinking that it's who inspires you to do sport? Do you have any heroes, or is there anybody you look up to in the sporting world potentially?
I mean, Femke Bol, the 400-meter runner, she's probably my favourite sportswoman. I just think,
incredible.
Yeah, she's really cool.
I look up to a lot of people in theatre, so they're not the most common names because they're not always on TV because they've won a race. But I definitely look up to Carrie Hope Fletcher, who's very famous within theatre because she does so much and she's amazing.
People at the top of their profession, right? So, yeah. I guess that flows quite nicely into, you were talking about the kind of boys having more of an opportunity. And we've just had the female European Championships, right? So England absolutely smashed it, right? So do you think that's a positive thing for female and young girls to be looking up to?
Yeah, I think it definitely promotes women's sport to the rest of the world, more than it would normally. So.
Yeah.
It definitely gives girls people to look up to, because I remember when I first started senior school, I wanted to get into football because a couple of my friends did it, but because they were boys, I didn't really have too much of a chance, especially when I went to the tryouts and there was 2 girls and the rest of it was just boys, and they were all very, very good, and the rest of us hadn't really had very much experience because there hadn't been that many opportunities beforehand.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. Why do you think that there wasn't more of a turnout for the girls on that? What do you feel that they're potentially doing instead?
I think that the girls definitely think that football was more for boys. They don't really try and get into it. I think a lot of girls I know quite enjoy basketball and tennis, but I think there's different sports that people associate with different genders. So it's definitely something that's got to be, changed so that you can play whatever sport you want, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I guess having the women's England team doing so well will start to turn things in that direction. And like I kind of touched on a little bit before, was I think CrossFit does a very good job of having like an equal, I don't know what the right word is for this, but it allows male and females to compete with each other. Sometimes the weights are a little bit different, and maybe the distances are a little bit different, but on the whole, they've just had their CrossFit Games, which happened this weekend. And something that's really come out of that is that everyone wins money for like the top 3 team, or the top 3 winners, and the male and the female prize purse is exactly the same. So, and I think it's one of the only sports, or definitely for many years, that has been the same. So that's kind of credit to those guys doing that as well.
So another question for you is, does Ironduke do anything to help include girls in fitness?
Yeah, absolutely we do. So we do a teens and a kids program that's open to anybody, and that's usually on a Friday. But we also, during the holidays, we offer a strong girls squad, and that is purely for young females to come and get involved. And basically, it's supported by the local government, and it allows us to kind of go through basically fitness and things associated with that, and also an opportunity to meet new people, and kind of there's like little breakout groups where we can like you can express yourself, you can kind of talk about how things are, and again, like I said, a lot of it is emphasis around like the physical activity side of things, so that you get to do like an hour of training as well each day, and that's something that's open to everybody. So if you know anyone that wants to get involved, feel free, drop us a line.
So, Toby, how do you think fitness benefits mental health?
I think we've touched on it a little bit already, but I think by like getting out there and being able to kind of push yourself day in, day out, like realizing that you come to the gym or you whatever it is that you do, that you can maybe be a little bit better each day, and by maybe potentially adding weight, maybe running a little bit faster, or whatever it is that you're, if you're going out for a walk, maybe you're walking a little further. I think the benefits for that have huge carryover to making you feel good.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
To making you feel good. How does exercise make you feel?
I think I feel a lot more confident in myself, because I think I have that just knowledge that I've done something good for my body today. So I feel just a lot better myself.
And so every day you do that, you feel a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
So how does it make you feel when you don't do it?
I just feel like I missed an opportunity. Like I could have gone out today and gone for a run, but I didn't. So I feel it's a bit kind of guilty, even though no one else is affected but me.
Yeah, absolutely. But then I guess then that allows you the opportunity the next day, right? Every day you have a new opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, maybe you didn't today, but tomorrow is another opportunity to again like put pennies in the bank and make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit better each time. So, and that's I guess for you is just like just keep adding to those things each day, right?
Yeah.
Good.
I definitely agree with the feeling guilty at missed opportunities. Where my theatre company I'm with is only term time. Across the summer when I'm not in school, I'm also not doing my performing arts. So other than like my summer school or the odd rehearsal, it's kind of like upsetting because I don't get to go out and see my friends and do the things that I enjoy. But it's also kind of nice to relax. But then I do rehearse the dances myself and do things like that so that I have still got that idea that I'm there.
Do you get a good workout out of that? Does that make you feel good?
Yeah, I usually will like run the dances a few times in my room by myself. So they're usually quite fast paced and very like not so much like regulated like classical training is, but it's like you need to hit certain counts. So it's definitely quite a good workout, making sure you get it right. And even every time I get it wrong, I'll stop and go back and start again. So it's definitely a lot of time.
So do you do any other activities other than the dance to kind of supplement kind of your training or like you're feeling good about yourself mentally as well?
We do like stamina training.
Yeah.
So we stamina train our arms so that we can hold positions longer. So we'll do like 4 minutes of doing a certain like training, and then we do like core strength as well, which is really it's kind of fun in a weird way, but it's really nice to know that we're all there doing the same thing, especially in class, and we're all kind of laughing with each other whilst doing it. And then doing it again at home, you kind of remember it, and then it makes you feel really happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you've taken part in your activities and things like that, how do you kind of fuel your body afterwards? How does it make you feel? How do you sleep? Do you notice, for instance, if you don't train, that you don't sleep so well?
Yeah, I definitely notice when I do train, I get much better sleep and I can fall asleep a lot faster. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm so tired, but I think my sleep, maybe just the sleep quality is definitely a lot better when I do train, even if it's not for as long. Yeah,
I agree. I definitely feel that when I know that I've had a good training session or a good training day or something like that, I definitely will sleep better. That's for sure. And generally just feel like a lot less stressed. I think for many years, I used to use, and I still do to a degree, is that using fitness training-wise as a stress relief as well. So to kind of make me feel better about myself, knowing that I've done something that's positive for me. Like you kind of touched on that a little bit just now, is that I know that I can kind of go and do a session. It doesn't have to be very long. It could be 5 or 10 minutes. Get my heart rate up, get sweating a little bit. And that just makes me feel like I've achieved for that day as well. Sometimes you don't get much time to train. So, you know, you're just looking sometimes just to take a quick 5 or 10 minutes. And that's sometimes all you need as well. So whatever kind of it is you're doing, I always prioritize nutrition, hydration and training. Not necessarily in that order, because sometimes like the training for me is, like I said, a massive stress relief, and it's an opportunity for me to have time for myself. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely have a lot of things going on, and to make training for me as a priority each day allows me to be like, yes, I've ticked this off, I've accomplished something. And I think we've kind of touched on it a little bit before, is that about training with other people as well. I'm very fortunate enough to own a gym where I can jump into the classes and train with the members and kind of see how they're feeling for the day. And it's amazing how many times that you're doing a class. It's not usually the morning ones, because most people are falling asleep at 6 o'clock in the morning, so it takes a bit of time to wake up. But definitely in the evening, you see that people have come in and they've had a stressful day, and you can see that on their face. They don't need to say anything, but you can tell by kind of people's body language, how they're feeling. They don't need to say too much. And as this kind of session progresses, because we always do a warm-up, we always do like some skill strength work and a workout. As that kind of progresses on, you can definitely see people kind of relaxing and their mood almost changing straight away. And by the time that session's finished, they've been there an hour, they're definitely in a better place when...
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
They're definitely in a better place when they were when they started. And that's kind of a big thing for us as well. We're very aware that people, and we're like adults and children are the same, and young adults and things like that, but we're very aware that a lot of our members use exercise as a stress relief and an opportunity to have some time, like not necessarily on their own, but away from the real world, if that makes sense. And again, sometimes by kind of just getting outside, putting your headphones in, maybe listening to music, maybe not listening to music. Sometimes, again, it's just allowing you to have a little bit of you time, get the heart rate up, and kind of allowing yourself to kind of just switch off and just be focused on kind of your training or whatever that looks like.
So we've talked about the mental health benefits of fitness, so let's now talk about our top tips for cheap or free ways to get active.
Well, firstly, I would definitely go for a walk. That's definitely one of the first things I would think of. You can do it anywhere. It doesn't cost you anything. So that would be one of the first things. The second, if you can run, would be another one. Again, there are plenty of park runs that you can kind of rock up to. Do any of you do park runs?
Yeah, I do park runs.
How do you find that?
I think I started maybe 4 months ago, and it's definitely got a lot easier. And it's because you get timed. It's really nice to be able to see your progress.
Okay, I've never actually done one. So, what do you literally that you can see your time each time you do it?
Yeah, so you get you get registered, and then they email you your time.
Oh, amazing. Cool. So yeah, definitely walking and running would be definitely up there for me. I'm a massive fan of doing burpees. So it's a very staple way of like moving your whole body from the ground and jumping in the air multiple times. Doesn't cost anything, and you don't need much space. So that's definitely one for me. Anybody else got anything?
I definitely think with walking, it's really good. And I know a lot of schools promote it, not just like primary schools, but also secondary schools, because sometimes being told to just go out and walk can be a bit boring. But like if you have some good music with you and then potentially an incentive like winning a prize or acknowledgement, it can be really good to actually give you the motivation to get up and do stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're walking to school or if you're catching a bus, you could get off a stop early or something like that will allow you just to get a little bit more time and a few more steps in. Always try and take the stairs where possible. I think that's it's something that's very, very easy that people don't really think too much about. So anything else?
I think there are so many good videos on platforms like YouTube, like Just Dance, Joe Wicks videos, that some of them like 5 minutes. Like
Absolutely, yeah.
You just have 5 minutes spare time, just do a Joe Wicks workout.
Yeah, I would agree, definitely. I think that most of us have the kind of internet in our hands, so you could definitely Google like fitness program or Joe Wicks, like you said.
Yeah.
It definitely allows you a little bit of exposure to something like that, and it's always easy to follow somebody because it means you're kind of moving well and doing the same as that person is doing, which is a good thing. So if you've got lots of friends, you could, I guess, play football for free.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of places near me. I'm quite fortunate that are like, there's just a basketball hoop in a field, or there's like football goalposts. So there's definitely a lot more like equipment just there anyway. So you don't need to like source it, because I know you can put like your bags or your coats down if you want to play football, but sometimes to do things like basketball, you don't have a hoop to actually play with, so you can't really do it, which is definitely very helpful to have it in like fields and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think kind of touching on that, there are definitely lots of parks that have like gym equipment in these days, whether that's kind of pull-up bars or they've got some weight machines in there and things like that as well, which I think if you scan the QR code, it kind of tells you how to use them as well, which again is a free, it's already there, and you don't have to do too much other than kind of follow the QR code. So that's very positive.
So there were some great ideas on how to get active that are low cost or free. My favourite one was probably parkrun.
I personally didn't know about the QR code, so I think that's definitely really informative for those who didn't know, who wanted to get active, so that they can use that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, it's very easy to follow as well. So like I said, I think I touched on my favourite was burpees, 100% every time. Nice and easy, no skill required.
We'd like to thank Toby for coming onto the Wellbeing Club podcast today.
Thank you very much for having me on the Wellbeing Club podcast. I'm really excited for what you guys are going to do in the future.
We would also like to thank Unlock for using their podcast room.
We'd like to thank Be Well for providing the data to support this episode.
We would like to thank Morrison's Victory Park for providing refreshments.
And finally, we would like to thank the Council of Social Responsibility for sponsoring, arranging and producing this session.
Bye! If you need any further support following this episode, you can download the Kooth app that offers free, safe and anonymous support.
Thank you for listening to the Wellbeing Club, and be sure to like and follow so you can find out about future episodes.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.